Welcome. Sit down, roll up, pour up, turn up and tune in, because you're now watching the Buncher Bull Network.
What up? Welcome to the world's dopest podcast, the Marley State of Mind podcast. And y'all here with us on our 100th episode. And we're here at the Refresh Shop, man. Shout out to Sean Devine, BJ, them boys, man, taking good care of us, got us in the building. And we're taking the 100th episode right back to the first episode, man. I got my man Franchise in the building.
Yes, sir.
What's good with you, bro? How you feeling?
Man, I'm good. I'm glad to be here with you, bro.
Man, can you believe it's the 100th episode?
Bro, from 1 to 100.
That's crazy. Hey, appreciate you, dog. I appreciate you joining me for the 100th episode.
Appreciate you having me.
I thought it would be like appropriate.
Yeah.
You know absolutely. What I mean? To kind of bring it back to where it started with you. You was my first guest. You know, you didn't have no proof of concept or anything to really go off of. Yep. And having you as my first guest added a lot of validity to what I was doing. So I appreciate you for, taking a chance. And, it was a little drive to come from where you came from and all that. And you rocked with me. One of the first folks.
Bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and you did that, bro. And like I said, it turned out to be a good one. And, whenever I'm fishing for new guests, that was one of the episodes I was sending out because it was the first episode. So I really appreciate you doing that for me, dog.
Nah, I appreciate you having me, bro. Like, the energy is reciprocated. The love is, love.
Yeah,
at all times, bro.
For sure.
Really.
So the first episode, we touched on a lot of your career and, the beginnings and all of that stuff. And, we're still going to touch on some of that again for those who did get a chance to see that, man. Make sure y'all check out the first episode with my man Franchise. Because we're not going to go through the whole thing again, because they could obviously watch the first episode, but more recently you dropped the Come Up project.
Yeah, that's new from episode 1.
Yeah, that's definitely new. I remember you spoke about it in passing in episode 1. I think you guys were still working on it. The Come Up project is you and Vinny Radio, of course, to the Come Up. Germ production on that, real heavy,
yes, sir.
Sounding lovely, sounding dope. So of course the Come Up. You and Vinny Radio, y'all been rocking for a minute, right?
Yeah, bro. Childhood friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Met his brother, his older brother, like right above him, probably like 12, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me and his brother met on a football level, sports level.
Yeah.
So we connected and clicked on that type of vibe, and through, acquainting with him, got to know the family, meet big bro, little bro, mom, dad, sis. Vinny, me and him connected on the music side.
Right.
It was like literally right at that time where like football was like, at a height where I could either go up or it's like gonna be over. And just like things happen where sports, I didn't, continue with that, and it was like right in the music. So it was like,
yeah,
me and Vinny like picked up from there.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. We spoke a little bit about that on the first episode, but once you're in sports, you're going through that phase, you're looking for something to transition into because you spend so much time and dedication into that craft, and now you're trying to find another outlet, right?
Absolutely. Like, music is like, I would say like, it's more regulated, like, of a formula than sports. Like, sports just like, wake up, sports,
yeah.
Whether working out, eating right,
yeah,
going to the gym, going to practice. Doing things to go to sleep, but like, music, you can kind of take your own pace. But a lot, with that being said too, like a lot of people weeded themselves out, like, not being solid with their work.
Yeah.
They work ethic with the music too.
Yeah, no, that's, and work ethic's a big thing. And like I know, like this thing's really a marathon, right? Not to be cliche, but it's a marathon and it's tough when you're in music. I know people at all different levels of success, and the frustration's real because you don't always feel like you're where you want to be, and no matter what level of it you're at, it's tough to gauge success in music, and you always want more success no matter what you get. We have highs and lows. You might do a big show, sold out crowd, and you're like, damn, Like I feel good about this. I feel like I'm making some leeway. And then the next thing you know, you might put a project out and don't get the reception that you want, or you might put a song out and don't get the reception that you want.
Absolutely.
So it's a lot of highs and lows with that. How have you maintained with those highs and lows? Because I know you experienced them on many levels, right? That the highs and lows from doing shows that on tours, sold out crowds, to dropping a project and like I said, maybe not getting the reception you want. How do you handle those highs and lows?
Bro, just remembering who I am, to be honest. Like, it's crazy you asked that as a great segue. Like, bro, I've been like in and out of like, slight depression and
Yeah,
just like, just music, but life in general. But it's like, I think about it on a say on a frame like, every time you do it, people will reward you like,
right.
bro, like that gave me motivation that you put up something. Hey, bro,
Yeah,
I love to see you and Vinny still grinding, still doing y'all thing. Like when you get in your head, well, for me, speaking for myself,
sure.
not even Vinny, but myself, and you get in your head. I get in my head so much sometimes, like, damn, was it reciprocated? Did it resonate with people the right way?
Right.
And when going to the gas station, going to Daily Bread, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Coming out and people like, yo, man, bro, I love that. In good hands too. I love it. I love to see y'all boys still grinding, and that puts me in the mode of being like, damn, shit don't stop.
It don't stop. Yeah.
It don't stop. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I thank my mother and my father for the gift of life and just the talent that was instilled in me. But like, you know what I mean? There's a gift that man gave us for
Yeah.
a reason, or your higher up gave us.
Yeah.
Bro, thou shalt not play with your gift, bro. So
Right.
I try to in recent time like get in the mode of being like, damn, don't play with your gift, bro.
Right.
This is what you do.
Yeah, no, man, you certainly had that gift, man. And, I told you a little bit before the interview how honored I am to be here with you. And you've always been one of the guys that I've seen doing music and looked up to, bro, on a in a real way. You know what I mean? Your skills alone, you're quite the lyricist, you know what I mean? And you know how to use the versatility end of it, too. You can make, you can get on the boom bap joints, but you can also turn up and you can do everything in between, right? You got the smooth shit.
Yeah.
And me personally, I feel like a lot of people don't give you, not a lot of people, I shouldn't say that. Let me rephrase this. Me personally, I see a lot of these lists that go around of top rappers and stuff, and I never take them seriously myself. And one of the reasons I don't take them seriously because I see a lot of names omitted that I would certainly put in there, and from time to time I do see your name omitted, and I'm like, how can you even have a list without naming someone like yourself who's put in so much groundwork with stuff like the Come Up, you know what I mean, with stuff like the 58s that are real big movements in the city. When you see those lists, do you pay them much attention? How do you feel about when you see your name omitted from things like that? What does that do to you?
I mean, like, to be honest, bro, I pay attention to it obviously because it goes out, so people share it and people will hit me up, you know what I mean. But to be honest, like, it would like kind of like chip me a little bit,
Yeah.
especially like more so in previous years, just because the acknowledgement feels good, bro.
Right. Yeah.
Like if there was a top.
I think your mic got muted. There's a button on it.
Back.
It should be on the bottom.
Go pull it off real quick. Take a
Yeah,
look.
you can take it off.
Yeah, you pull it off. Yeah. Sorry, we having a little technical difficulties. Just let us know the mic might have been muted.
Yeah. Yep.
You back good?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
All right, we're good. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. A little technical difficulty. That's what happens when you're shooting live. But you said we were talking about the list and seeing the different top tens or top whatever list of people's favorite rappers. How you feel and how you handle dealing with that type of shit.
Like I said, bro. Just getting back to that. Like it used to chip me a little bit, but when I create, you know what I mean. I kind of like block all of that out. So
Yeah.
like when
You have to, right?
Yeah, you got to, bro, because like if you like, social media is definitely like a gift and a curse with this type of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
if you spend too much time like looking at what people are dropping and what rappers and artists are doing, and they put them on a pedestal of this is what it should be or this is what it's like. You get in the tunnel of being like, damn, my shit ain't good enough, or it got to be to this level. You should just fully be yourself. So I keep that in mind when creating. And for real, what serves me or feeds me on that, bro, is like, all honesty. When they be making them lists, it could be a top 50 list, and you could put me at 50. I could be at the bottom of it, but I just want the acknowledgement. I don't care what you feel about me or how strong you think my songs are or how good of a lyricist or a barsmith I am, but just the acknowledgement feels good. However, when they exclude me or I'm not a part of it or Vinny's not a part of it because he's unreal.
Yeah.
I just think, like, you know, the people they do put up there, I'll be like, I'm served because, like, a lot of times the people that, when y'all ignore us or, you know, exclude us, the people that y'all are naming, we're like their favorite rappers.
Right.
Or like, you know what I mean? Like,
No,
like I'll be like your favorite rapper's favorite rapper.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Or like somebody that you know about be like, damn. They be like, damn, my friend and Vinny is one of my favorite guys. And I'll be like, you know what I mean? So I'll be like, I keep that in the back of my mental, like, you know, it's reciprocated.
I may
inspire
inspire some of these people that they're putting on the list.
Yeah.
Right.
And you might have not have heard me.
Right.
So it's, a lot of times it's that, like, people haven't heard us for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be like, oh, I remember them from Eastern Empire days or the 58s days. I didn't know they were still rapping.
Right.
Because things have changed. You know what I'm saying? So things have changed. People's schedule changed. People's mental change.
The environment changes.
Everything. So, you know, we might have just slipped off of their radar, or then some people just don't know or just might not like us. And, you know,
and it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
No, for sure. No, and the thing you said about some of the guys that they put on the list might be guys that you inspire, and that's one of the things I notice whenever I go out to your shows, whenever I listen to your projects. You do reach out to a lot of the younger artists, some of the artists that are coming up, especially the artists from Braddock. I see you show them a lot of love, and you know you had these guys on the bills and the shows. And the one thing I notice about you too is when you put together these shows, you always pull a good crowd too.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that support you, you have like a real cult following. You guys have like a real fan base when it comes to this. What do you credit that to? Like, what do you credit the crowds, the people that are following along, and also a part of that, what makes you want to reach out to these artists to put them on shows and put them on your records?
Just general interaction, bro. Like a lot of these dudes, like, it's crazy because I was talking to one of the homies recently. And he was like, you know, he's like, it's dope to see you and Vinny back. But he was like, I remember like 2015 was our last project up until last year when we dropped Ain't Good Hands with Germ.
Right.
So that was like 9 years, you know what I mean? He was like, ever since y'all had like took y'all hiatus, you was still doing your thing. All the shows you did, you put somebody different on them every time. And I'm like, bro, because it's like, bro, you reach one, teach one, and it's like I want to be a vessel to this city, to my community with rap, where it's like, bro, there's, probably 2 handfuls of dudes that I've never done music with personally yet, but I believe in them, or I'll be like, you know what I mean, like, damn, you ain't really got out here yet, you ain't really seen crowds or seeing the people that really show me love, and be like, bro, this came from like my mom throwing cookouts and my family doing stuff where like love is love, you know what I mean? Where like I might bring in a section of my hood that don't rock with another section of my hood, right? But when they come to my shit, it be like, we ain't gonna mess up Fran's shit, because it's about love, bro. It's about like.
So you always been about community,
and about like, bro, let's us connect. Like we might be beefing over something so small, like have some type of tension over something that, bro, it'd be like a small link up, or like just for us to be face to face as men, as women.
It might resolve the whole thing.
When we be out here, so it's like, to take it to the music, it's like, bro, like there's a bunch of dudes, like I said, like I haven't even connected with in a session or where we made something, but like I've been around them for years and we just haven't got to get to it yet. But if I could do anything, I'm gonna share my platform with you, because it's like, You know, I've done certain things where, you know, people are gonna come out. I still work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm a hustler at general, you know what I mean? Where at work, when I'm doing something, I'm talking about it at work and people are getting to it. And these are people who don't make music or they're not artists.
Right.
They just want to come out and have a good time. So it's like I put my young boy from Braddock on, I put my young boy from Rankin on, and then somebody I might know from Garfield,
Right.
but they from the city, and you know what I mean, somebody else like that I've been rocking with to the point it brings us all together. It's like a whirlpool of just like talent and people in one segment, one section of, you know, one building, one venue, one avenue, where it's like, damn, we really had a good time. It was a bunch of different vibes in there, you know, drinks, smoking, we doing our thing.
Found,
and it was
found a
great
common
night.
place, yeah.
Yeah, bro. And
Found a common place under a common theme, being music, and found a reason to vibe and to get together and might have different conversation that you might not have had otherwise.
and I love like sometimes, like a lot of times, I used to have people host my shows. Now I don't
Yeah.
even be having I host my own shit
Yeah.
because it's just talking to people, bro. It's just like having a good time. It's like me having a mic at the cookout, bro. Like,
Right.
and this is my family. I look at everybody as my family. So it's like
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to y'all as if I would talk to family. I get the most gratitude looking into the crowd when I'm hosting, and I'm seeing different walks of life
All under the same
vibing-
roof.
under the same roof, vibing with
Yeah.
each other. People, I'm looking at the bar and I'm like, that's my man. He's stone cold hood fella.
Right.
And this is somebody I work with who's from out the way, don't even
Yeah.
really
Straight-
bask in this type of
Yeah,
ambiance.
yeah. Straight
normally.
buttoned up. Yeah.
But I'm looking, as I'm talking, I see them vibing. I'm like, that's where it's like,
Yeah.
that's what it's about, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man.
That's what it's about.
And that's the thing, like, and like I said, I can tell, you know, you come from that place of wanting to create community because you do a lot of that with the shows, and of course, like I said, you've been a part of a couple different groups, right?
Yeah, definitely.
East End Empire,
Yep.
the Come Up 58s,
Yep.
and it seems like you like to collab with a lot of different artists. You enjoy the community of music. You enjoy creating with other artists.
Yeah, man.
Now, for those who haven't seen the last episodes that aren't familiar, how did it start for you, like the East End? And we won't go back to the whole because I know there's a lot with it. But how did that start with you with East End Empire? How did you end up becoming a part of East End Empire, and who was a part of East End Empire?
So, first off, East End Empire was started. Shout out to my guy, my brother, Will Calson, aka Willie Whips.
Yeah, for sure.
Him and one of his homies, he grew up with, went to school with, Lip the Kid and Beatty as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was like their vision. They started it. Now simultaneously, Beatty, Mac Miller, rest in peace. He was Easy Mac at the time.
Right.
Beatty and Mac were a group. They were the Ill Spoken.
Mm-hmm.
Beatty being older, Mac being younger. So they were picking up, moving and shaking. And at the same token, I was moving and shaking on my side.
Right.
Now there was a club in Tarentum. It was called like I forget what it was called. It was like an old skating rink. But this was the time like Say Yeah was popping.
Yeah.
Like Wiz, you know what I mean?
Mhm, yeah.
So at this time Wiz was like in and out of town shaking and stuff up. But I'm the Man, S Money was
Yeah.
popping at the same time.
Yeah.
And you know, he had a little something shaking S Money at the time too. But in Tarentum they had this club where at the time Say Yeah was popping. I'm the Man. So it'd be Wiz with headline, S Money and Kev the Hustler, Chevy Woods.
Known as Chevy Woods
Chevy
now.
Woods
yeah.
now
Yeah.
would open up, and then they had another guy from Pittsburgh. It was at the time like Graduation. Kanye came out.
Yeah.
He was from Pittsburgh. His name was Nova.
I remember Nova, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah, he used to
Shout
rock
out
the
Nova.
Kanye glasses.
That's his, yep,
but
yep,
yo,
yep.
he used to come out
Yeah.
and have like choreographed sets.
Mhm.
He would have different
He
outfits.
was different,
change.
yeah.
Bro,
He was on a different level.
Bro, he was an incredible performer.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nova.
Shout out to Nova for sure.
Wherever you are, and I hope this gets to you. You were incredible. He used to
Yeah.
inspire me when I was only doing like Shadow Lounge shows.
Yeah, yeah.
And shout out to the Shadow
Shadow
Lounge.
Lounge,
Shadow
no,
Lounge
legendary.
reunion is coming up in June too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, down here, right in front of the old Shadow Lounge.
Get out of here, bro.
June 28th. I could be wrong, but it's at the end of June. So
Oh, I gotta hit that up.
absolutely, Shadow Lounge. So I was coming from that, and like I said, S Money, Chevy, Wiz, they was getting love, but Nova would be opening up. He would come out with a cape, his back to the crowd.
He had
His dope-
showmanship.
Oh my God, he was incredible,
Yeah.
bro. So we used to go out there. Long story short, and one of the shows, this was when I had put out my first mixtape to the city, The Perfect Storm, Braddock Spokesman, and I was like, the club had got flushed out for some reason, so me, Vinny, and Palermo Stone got
Yeah,
outside.
Tip the ill spit at the time.
Yeah,
huh?
Tip the ill
What
spit
up,
at the
P?
time.
What up,
P,
P?
what up?
Yeah.
We got out club. We got out. It got flushed out. We got out first. So I'm on. I get out there. I'm moving, selling, moving, selling. This little short white kid comes up like, "Yo, what's up? You franchised the Braddock Spokesman?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're Easy Mac, right?"
Yeah.
Yes, I seen you and BD ill spoken. From there, we exchanged emails, numbers. He sent me. BD sent me a beat like days later. Came to the session. Shout out to Soy Sauce.
Soy sauce for sure.
Came to the session like a week or 2 weeks later. Chopped it up. I'm like, yo, if y'all like me, I got one of my guys. Y'all gonna love him. He's incredible. I was playing him Vinny shit.
Yeah.
Oh, bring him too. Bring him. We got a beat. Send the beat. Vinny did his thing. Brought him back. They loved him. Like, y'all love him. Y'all gonna love this other guy. I brought in Palermo Stone, and from there it was like, a solidified thing. Beatty, Mac Miller, Ghosty, and Primavera Vils.
Yeah.
They were there before us too, because Will Carlson knew them, I believe, or Beatty, one of them knew them somehow, some way. So Beatty, Mac, Ghosty, Vils, myself, Vinny, and then Palermo and Chemical as well.
Yeah, Cammy.
We brought them along with the Eastern Empire as well, and that was how that was formed. And we rocked. Wasn't really a group, more so like an umbrella.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Same
It wasn't
thing
a
with the
group.
50s.
It was more. Yeah, exactly. It was more like a team of individuals who were like-minded, doing the same thing towards the same mission.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the craziest thing is, like, when building the 58s, as like the Eastern Empire stuff started to like plummet, I basically took the same formula that we built the Eastern Empire with to form the 58s. Like, the 58s was just like an umbrella of 3 different groups for real.
Yeah, let's get into that. So Eastern Empire happened. You named all the members of Eastern Empire.
Yep.
You said everybody started to kind of do their own thing and started to go venture off into something different.
Yep.
And then, of course, for those who know, man, the 58s still is. I don't want to say was like it wasn't, but still is a legendary group in Pittsburgh, man. And I remember when the 58s, y'all came together and y'all came out. I remember everybody rocking the 58s hoodies and it was a vibe, it was a feel, and it felt like the Pittsburgh Wu-Tang, if you will. And you said this was comprised of 3 different groups. So how did that come about? How did you go from Eastern Empire to the 58s? How was that created?
It was like kind of crazy, bro, because this was like MySpace time.
Yeah.
So, like I said, when I met Mac first, and then we communicated through email, and BD was sending emails. But then when I pulled up to the studio, I met BD, Mac, Willie Whips, Ghosty, and Lip the Kid. Lip the Kid was the one who was Willie Whips' good friend that they set it up with. So, like I said, with that, the Eastern Empire Triple E's, we had probably a year and a half, 2-year run. But at the same time, I had met B. White and Mayo.
Rest in peace to Mayo. For
Yeah,
sure.
rest in peace, my brother. I miss you dearly.
Yeah.
I met them through MySpace. Now, they had added me or I had added them, and the Mon Valley is like one of these type of things. Like,
Right.
Pittsburgh is a fist, but like Mon Valley is like one of these type of things. So we added each other, knowing that my stuff said Braddock, their stuff said McKeesport.
Yeah.
And I was listening to them, and this is in an era of like Ninth Wonder just dropping packs of beats like every week. There's a bunch of Primo beats, a bunch of just hip hop beats. So we in that era like of boom bap and like just soul loops and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing they music on this is when you could have the music on the MySpace.
Yep.
I remember hearing their vibe, and I'm like, I can't tell which one is which, and these dudes sound black. I thought they was like niggas. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I thought
dog,
they was
yeah.
niggas. Like, you know what I mean? Where I'm like listening to their music, but I'm looking at their pictures,
Like this don't make sense.
and it was like more pictures of Mayo. Rest in peace of my brother Billy Jaw, man. Just him holding big burners.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? Counting big money. There was like a few pictures of B White where I'm like, I can't tell which one is which, but these boys is crazy.
Yeah.
So, one of us sung a message to each other, and I'll never forget. Mayo pulled up, like Mayo was like, "Yeah, we can link up. I like your stuff. I like your shit. You from Braddock? We from the Valley, boy. I'm gonna pull up. Where you live at?" I was living in Monroeville at the time. He pulled up with like a 3-gram Dutch Master. You know what I mean? We smoked on my balcony. I ain't know him from a can of paint.
Yeah.
He came through like 6'3". You know what I mean? Just cool and vibing. We talking and shit. He sits there. This is when it was just my son, me, my son, and his mom. At the time, we lived in an apartment in the Monroeville. And he came through vibing. It was cool. And from there, like, he was living in Dravosburg, right out there near McKeesport.
Yeah. Yep.
So the next time I came through out there and vibe with him. We played each other some music. I think we might have talked about doing something, and then I came out like a week later, and then I brought Vinny, and then we actually did some recording at that time. And from there, it was like, damn, like these dudes is dope. We dope. We started introducing them like slowly but surely to like Willie Whips, Beatty, Mac. And at the time, like I said, this is right when Eastern Empire's falling off. Like everybody's kind of doing their own thing.
Right.
But I was so used at that point to the conglomerate, the camaraderie of like, oh yeah, we got a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
And then the East End, and like BD started doing his own thing. The Ill Spoken was over. BD started doing his own thing. Mac wanted to do his own thing. Ghosty and Vills was still a group at that time, but they both had their own thing they wanted to do.
Right.
Me and Vinny came in as a solo artist, but we wanted to do some group stuff
shit, yeah.
like later. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, but we was like just happy to lyrically spar with dudes. So it was like once the 58s came, or once we got acquainted with Mayo and B more so, it was like Mayo was like, yeah, we had did a couple tracks after like maybe 90 days, 3 months. Mayo was like, yeah, we need to put something together, boy. Y'all boys, the sickest boys, my nigga. Sickest boy, McKeesport boys. He's like, sickest boys. He's like, we need to call this shit like Mon Valley Works. If you know anything about the Mon Valley, that's the mill.
Yeah.
You go into any mill from Braddock, West Mifflin, Claret, and down to Monessen, anywhere, it says Mon Valley Works, and then whatever branch it is, or Mon Valley Works Monessen, Mon Valley Works Braddock, Duquesne, Claret, but he wanted to call it Mon Valley Works, and I just remember like thinking like, that's cool. Really, I mean, it's like cliche. Like, you know what I mean? But I'm thinking of it. I'm like, we just making music, and I'm like, well, I mean, like, we'll put that to the side. We'll figure out a name for it.
Yeah.
And simultaneously, my mixtape Henny and Hayes, at the Henny side, the Hayes side.
Yeah. Double disc.
So the slogan was like fifths of Henny, eighths of Hayes. So when we was creating for Henny and Hayes, I remember one time I said on a track like, go get your 58s. That's fifths of Henny, eighths of Hayes. And I said like, it was like some outro shit like to close
Just
out the
talking
track.
shit. Yeah.
And Vinny was like, what was that 58 shit you just said? I was like, I don't know, bro. Like Henny and Hayes, fifths of Henny, eighths of Hayes. He's like, that should be the name of the group, the 58s. That's dope. I'm like, all right, I don't think nothing of it. I see Mayor the next day. I'm like, 58s, fifths of Henny, eighths of Hayes. He's like, oh yeah, that's the sickest, boy. Yeah, I'm gonna go get an LLC. You ready? Like he's like the white cab.
He was on it.
Yeah, like white Dame Dash dude. Like he was crazy, bro.
Like the entrepreneurial spirit.
So like me and Vinny birthed it. You know what I mean? I create the name, the creation, the logo was all me and Vinny. But from there, Mayo was like I was like the Jay-Z, Mayo was like the Dame
Dame
Dash,
Dash, yeah,
like
Biggs type.
like yeah, Biggs, and he took it and leveled it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Where, like I said, at that point,
Like started with the merch and all that type stuff.
all of that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Got the logo slapped on the hoodies, and we start killing them and putting tracks out. And that's when people was like, they sound like a Pittsburgh Wu-Tang and
yeah.
shit. You know what I'm saying? Which was love, because we was just, it was so organic, bro. And Vinny said this to me. We had one of the last sessions with Germ for the Anger Hands 2. He was like, man, there's one thing I regret. It was like not fully going just forward
With the 58.
with the 58 shit, opposed to like, he's like, it was dope that we did the come up, and you know, people know us for that, you know what I mean? But like, bro, the 58s was our thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It felt a lot better when Mayo was in them rooms with us, and you know what I mean? And your mind, and then me and B's mind, Vils and Ghosty in there, you know what I mean? It was our thing, you know. We learned a lot, and we did a lot with Mac, and being on the road with him. And no disrespect, respectfully to my brother, rest in peace, to the fish that saved Pittsburgh, Mac Miller.
Yeah.
But that was his thing, you
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
The 58s was our thing.
Right.
And, bro, it was like so organic, bro. Like, it was like a overnight status type of thing.
No, for sure. And for me, I remember my first encounter with the 58s was the Realness, right?
Yeah.
The video for the Realness, and
That video shit was crazy.
that song was amazing. I remember I used to show it to other people, and my homie described it the best that I showed it to. He was like, if hip hop was a test, he was like, he just aced it.
Yeah.
Talking about Be Real. So if y'all not familiar, definitely check out that. Be Real, my God. Be White. Make sure y'all check out that video, Be White. The Realness, because it's incredible. Who did that beat on the Realness? You remember?
I want to say that was Jit Beats.
Okay.
Jit was somebody like Mayo was just like a thorough the street guy, man.
Yeah.
Mayo met these dudes online, and literally like Jit was like a producer for like people in the Woo. He had production with like AZ, Cormega, you know what I mean? And I think Jit made that beat.
Yeah, that was my introduction, and I remember the video was crazy. I remember seeing all you guys, because I was familiar with all you guys individually. But I remember seeing all you guys in the video, and I was like, oh man, what's going on here? And it felt exciting, like the video itself, it felt exciting. Yeah. Shout out to Cash Cow Moolah Gangs, they was in there too. I was like, oh, they got the boys in there, and it was just a real vibe. And I remember that whole time, like you guys really had the city turned up with the whole 58s movement. So I definitely see where you're coming from. And like I said, just the introduction to the Be White and seeing him twisted like that was crazy. And he shows up again on the Good Hands 2 project, right?
Yeah. Renaissance Men.
Yeah. How did you guys link back up for that project, for that particular song?
Bro, just like the test to like talking about earlier, just like, bro, still believing in my guys. Like, you know, I got B's number, so like I think about my guys. So from time to time, you know, even if it ain't music, I'm like,
just checking up on him.
Yeah, what's up? You all right? Or like sending him something that we did before, saying something to him that like, and then when we was together, not daily, but like, you know, frequently, like something he'll remember. And I'm like, yo, me and Vinny about to jump back in. Cause when Mayo had passed, they had like a celebration of life for him in McKeesport. I went, and Ghosty showed up. Vinny didn't get to make it, or Vils didn't get to make it, but me, B, and Ghosty were there. And Mayo's family was there, and he was like, yo, you know, he would love for y'all to keep it going.
Yeah.
And if possible, like some new 58s shit. I'm like, okay, I'm with it. You know what I mean? We can talk about it. You know what I mean? Because we was talking about it before Mayo had passed.
Right.
But it was like hard getting everybody else together.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately stuff happened, and we didn't get to do it. But yeah, it was like, you know, talking about that. Talking about doing it, and then I was like, yo, give me your number, B. You know, I'm gonna be in touch. And from there, you know, I just kept in touch with him, like, and he would send me stuff like, yeah, boy, I'm back into it. And like B got this thing where like, bro, like B grind. It's like he'll be in the studio for like every day for like 30 days.
Yeah.
and then I won't hear from him for like 30 months. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's like every day, like, boy, yo, sick as shit, boy. Look, check your email. And he's coming through, or not coming through, but he's sending shit. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get over there. And it might be like a month go by. Then I'm like, yo, what up? I'm trying to come through. I'm about to come check you. Crickets. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
long story short, with that, we, he'd get back whenever he got back. And then I did a show for my Ghetto Luxury, my solo project. I did a release party for that and had him come out. And that was the first time he had performed in years. He brought the port out, and I brought some people out, and it was received very well. And
I bet,
think
yeah.
that put a spark in him.
Yeah.
So from there, I was like, yeah, we about to get right back into the come up shit. And he said he ready. So I'll be in line. He came through and he did the joint for us. His antlers light went up. He came back for like 3 sessions. He did that verse, Renaissance Men, on In Good Hands 2 with us. He did another jam we got that is just in the tuck right now.
Yeah.
And then he did a hook, or he did a verse for something he wanted to do. It was like, y'all boys get on it. I think Vinny laid something on it. I wrote like half or something. He was supposed to come to a session and just, he been AWOL since.
Yeah.
Like when we did the release party for In Good Hands 2, like massive people like wanted to see Renaissance Men live, and I couldn't even get him on the hook. And the craziest thing is, we was talking about it, and Vinny also was like, I don't know if I want really Renaissance Men to go on there. He's like, it just sounds different than the whole project.
Yeah.
But Germ really wanted it to go. And I'm like, I think it would be dope too. I'm like, I was in the middle. I'm like, Germ really wanted to go, Vinny didn't want it. I'm like,
You could have won either way.
I'm like, yeah, it do sound different than the project where we don't really need to have it on there. But I know Germ really wants this to be on there, and like, I think us backing B out, pulling B out the closet again for one more time, another time, our fans will reciprocate.
Yeah,
Resonate with that very well. And no funny shit. That Renaissance Men, and there was another one that was a Renaissance Men and Hold On was the 2 tracks that got the most love, like the first month of us dropping that.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I'm thinking, like, I mean, lyrically it's probably one of the stronger tracks, but like we don't have a chorus on it or nothing.
Right.
It's just like a mash out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that type of joint, but it was received well by like our people.
Yeah, no, and I can see why. I mean, obviously you guys have a formula that works, right? We know that through 58s, it's a proof of concept.
Yeah.
And it's probably nostalgic for a lot of people to hear you guys back together again too, at the same time, and and not to negate the fact that you all are dope MCs, so to be on that track together, and it's a dope track, man. So I could see why Jern was fighting to get that one on there.
Yeah.
For sure.
And he was quiet about it. You
Yeah,
know what I
of
mean?
course. He was Germ. Yeah.
Smooth Germ.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? But he was like, nah, yeah, I really want Renaissance Men to go on. He kind of said it like soft spoken,
Yeah.
as he does. You know, Germ the quiet assassin. But
For sure.
I knew what time it was. Like, yeah, it gotta go.
Let's get it on
go.
there.
Yeah, it gotta go on.
Yeah, so you guys do that. You collaborate on the 58s. I'm gonna jump back a little bit now. When did you know? Like, when did you feel that you guys were onto something big? Did you have was there a moment in time where, because it's tough to tell, it's tough to gauge, right? Whenever you're just putting it out into the atmosphere,
Yeah.
you really don't know what it's going to do or what it's doing. When did you realize, like, we're onto something? Like, this is, like, people were fucking with this.
As far as the 58s?
As far as the 58s is concerned, yeah.
Bro, like, to be honest, I didn't even have time to know or think about it because it happened so quick.
Yeah.
Like, I think we leaked a joint, like, one night, like, random night like this, and then leaked another one, like, a day later.
Yeah.
By Monday, this was in the blog era.
Yeah, yep.
By Monday, like, Nah Right and Two Dope Boys and all of that was posting this shit. Like, Vinny's sister was going to school, college in Cleveland, and she had a 58s hoodie, and, like, people was, like, not rushing her, but, like, was coming up to her and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, amongst other things happening where it was just, like, kind of, like, fast, bro. Like, then we had the support of, like, the city, Brick, Time Bomb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was, like, big in itself at that time. You know what I mean?
100%, yeah.
I mean, Time Bomb Daily Bread.
we're still here. Yeah,
We still here, but at that time, you know, I mean, it was like a thing.
yeah,
If your shit was buzzing through Brick Diggs and Time Bomb Circuit, like, oh, it was serious. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
No, 100%. And to touch on that, right? Because we're in Refresh, the Tom Bomb shop. That was one of the places that you go to get your music. Like everybody
Yeah.
knew, if you were a hip hop head in the city, you wanted to get a hold of some good Pittsburgh music. If it was in there, like it's going to be good. And Brick being the ambassador that he is for hip hop, he'll tell you what's good and what's
He'll tell you.
He'll be like, yeah, don't. But this right here, you want this.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna put you on game.
And and at the time, like how the counter is here, it was a shelf, like
Yep.
all the new stuff,
Yeah,
whether it was lower level, mid, or top tier,
yeah.
it was on that shelf.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you said, Brick will tell you, like,
Yeah, Brick will tell you.
yeah, this dude is from Bright Night, some fucking trash.
Yeah,
you know
yep,
what I mean,
yep.
this is fire right there. You need these dudes are from Braddock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like, I mean, Brick. Funny story. I ain't gonna go too long, but Brick.
No, you go as long
My
as you-
first tape, Brick was funny as hell. Like, this was when I was like still like figuring myself out. I rapped over a bunch of instrumentals. I had bars, but I was putting it together different. And he was like, "Yeah, I don't know, friend. This shit's it's a little off, man. I don't know if I believe it. I don't know what to feel about it, man. It sounds good, but I don't know how to feel." It was like, it kind of like made me like not really hurt me, but it was like, oh, all right. It sat on my mind to be like, okay,
Yeah.
when I get some beats for real, I'm gonna show you like I'm nice. And then simultaneously, Brick linked me with Germ and Say Ass.
Yeah.
Got on some real beats, and from there, Brick was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, making your own shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so shout out to Brick Diggs, man.
Yeah, shout out Brick, man. It's funny. I've had a couple people on the podcast now who've given Brick a lot of credit for their success and what they've been able to do in music. Of course, we're here now, where we are. Sean Devon spoke about Brick in a major way, and when I had Germ on, he spoke about Brick in a major way, helped him to get in a lot of the doors he was in.
Yep.
And also Billy Hoyle, he credited Brick as well.
Shout out to Hoyle, man.
Yeah, shout out to Hoyle, man. He credited Brick as well. Brick was such an influential person in Pittsburgh hip hop. Still is. Not I say was because we're speaking about things in the past tense. Not to say that he isn't, but he was such an influential person. And when you got Brick's stamp, that meant something. That means something in the city.
Absolutely.
And like we said, it was one of the cornerstones of Pittsburgh hip hop. There's a few places you can go, like Stediford's, Tom Palm, Soul to Soul. They had the local stuff, but it was something different when Brick stamped it.
Yep.
And said, yeah, this is what you rocking with.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like you said, Stediford's, Upbeat, a lot of those spots were, they were CD spots. So, you had a plethora of things to look at and come through there.
Yeah.
Brick tapped in on, streetwear, the streets where it was, you can buy clothes in here, you can buy hats in here.
Yeah.
There's parties in here. There's a small 2 or 3 shelves in here where he gonna have some of the industry stuff or mixtapes, but it's really like that first shelf when you walk in was that
For the bird.
that local where you be like, damn, I need to get my shit up
I want to
there.
be up there, yeah, for
I
sure.
gotta get my
Yeah.
shit. Like the same thing with the ID Labs, the OG ID Labs.
Yeah.
When you walk in and they had the painting
Yep.
of Edan and the turntables, but then around it you had
Different
everybody
covers.
cover arts.
Yeah.
You used to walk in there and be like, okay, I gotta get my shit together. I gotta be
Yeah.
up here.
That's how I was
I
introduced to
gotta
you.
solidify.
That was how I was introduced to you, was through the wall. I seen your first project there, The Perfect Storm.
Perfect Storm, yeah.
Yeah, and I was and that always got me curious whenever I seen people up there because like you said, that was where you wanted to be. So it got me curious and it got me into looking into your stuff and into your music. So you're definitely right. Like, and if you're in the know, what that stuff means. So you got to kind of be in tune and tapped into that stuff.
Yep.
For sure. So you do the 58s thing. You guys are buzzing. What followed that? Like what happened with that? Like you said, Vinny was like, I wish we would have capitalized off of that more. I wish we would have did more with it. What stopped you guys from doing more with it?
I think it was just like personally ego.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? When
It's easier to say that looking back on it, huh? And at the time, you probably didn't even see it that way.
Yeah. And like, I don't want to put nobody above or under anybody, but I just think like at the time, it might have looked at like it might have been looked at like we were like disbanding from the 58s, but it was more so that like it just worked easier for two of us to go.
When you say what you mean, you and Vinny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I say this to say that people don't even know that Mac gave that opportunity to like 4 different people before the come up.
Right.
Like he gave it to Palermo. That Palermo had the first opportunity.
Yeah.
Nothing bad happened or nothing.
Yeah.
Just life happened, and Tip's Palermo's life, P's life changed where, you know, he was with Mac tearing up the road for a minute.
Yeah, I definitely remember them days.
But he had his own life where, you know, if Mac is on the road and Tip is over here,
yeah,
and he got a life, I can't do it. Boom. Beatty and them, you know, had their stunt.
yeah.
Things didn't work out for that reason. The 58s, we opened up shows for Mac before the come up even did any runs or anything like that.
I remember Mac Miller's MTV interview where they asked him about local hip hop, and he named the 58s, Varsity Squad, and a couple other artists
on on the MTV.
Yeah, on MTV. Yep.
And we had a segment on that, and the 58s had, and B and Mayo had a segment on that too.
Yeah.
And for some reason, shout out to Rob Markman of MTV, because, you know, he's the one who came through and did all the documentation, and he didn't film it, but like he had somebody film it, but like he was the one, you know,
asking the questions and all that,
and going around getting with everybody who Mac wanted him to get with. And the 58 segment got lost for some reason, and Mayo kind of looked at that. Rest love you, bro. He looked at that as like they did it on purpose. You know what I mean? Because we was rocking with Mac and shit at the time. But he didn't have any problem with us. But he like I said, at the same token, looked at it like, damn, y'all boys went on there when we was super hot, heating. But when we went on that tour and got it, like I said, we opened up 3 shows on Mac's tours before that.
As the 58s.
As the 58s.
Right.
And like, you know, I think personally Mac just kind of saying like, this is too much.
Right.
With everybody.
Yeah.
I love you guys, but this is a little too much. So I need to take who I think is the most, you know, safe.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like we were the most safe, you know what I mean? Like in that sense. I can't say that's the truth, but that's just what I personally feel.
Yeah, that's your perspective on it.
Not even speaking for Vinny either. But that's just what I always got from it, you know what I mean? And even when we was on the first tour, the Blue Slide Park tour with Mac, that was our first tour. Like, you know, we rapped a B and Mayo and told him like it wasn't nothing. Like we wasn't disbanding.
You were transparent with them.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Mayo, they felt some type of way, I guess. They not even I guess, they did. Because the vibe changed a little bit. But we were still like communicating, and we was like, yo, any show y'all can get up to and do, you know what I mean? We'll rock it as a 58 show.
You still left the door open.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And they didn't come up and rock with us, you know what I mean? We're at that point, after the end of the tour, they didn't come up. That whole tour, we was gone for a month. It was like, you know, boys probably feel some type of way. And at that point, it kind of just like communication started being like a lot more slim.
Yeah. Where
it in my mind led me to believe like, yeah, boys feel some type of way.
It kind of ran its course at this point.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But like I said, again, on our end, and I say it genuinely honest, we wasn't disbanding. It was just
a moment in time and an opportunity.
Bro, it was an opportunity, bro. Like we had to get in there in that door in some way. And on the contrary, when we was doing that, the 58s was killing shit. I mean, them boys was killing shit back here. They was on Newcastle, West Virginia, Erie, DMV. They was doing their shit, you know what I mean? Still being Mayo. They had brought in like 4 Pound at the time too, and Grimes from the Duke.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They was like not 58s, but they was affiliated. You know what I mean? Through Mon Valley ties and just being good dudes, you know what I mean? But they was still killing shit. So you know what I mean? And even times when we was off the road, if they had some shit and they was like, y'all boys come through and rock. We came through and rocked with them.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it just wasn't the same when it was us, where I felt like they kind of felt some way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Would you have done anything different at that time looking back on it?
No.
Not at all.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. I mean, like I said, like, I guess I would have been more firm on, like, getting them to come out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it would have been like, no, it's not weird, no weird shit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, y'all boys just come out. Like, you know what I mean? We gonna do this. But I think I got to a point where I just got so locked in. I was just like, bro, we're just gonna ride this wave, bro. Let's do this come up thing.
Yeah.
Let's keep them in good hands.
Yeah. Yeah, and the come up thing you did do for sure, and doing those shows. What was that experience like? Like, what did you take from those experiences on the road, doing your first shows? Going for setup, seeing the meet and greets. What was that experience like for you? What did you take from that?
Bro, it was like a blur. It was all new at first, like,
because a lot of cool shit came out of that. Like, one of my favorite things that I know personally that came out of that was, of course, the Ninth Wonder track with Murs and y'all and Mac. That shit was crazy. Like, a lot of good things came from that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we got on our album Change of Plans. We got Ninth Wonder production, Crisis production, E. Jones. We did music with all of them. Shout out to Heather Victoria. Shout out to Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Big Remo. Hollow. A lot of those guys from the Jamla crew. Sean Bullock, man. We made a lot of music with those dudes, but it was dope, man. Like, a lot of it was a blur because it was just like, it's new, bro. So like, I was just talking about this at home with one of my guys before I came here. He was like, he was in the service, and he was like, man, I wish I would have documented, like, the stuff I did. I was like, bro, same thing, like, all that stuff we did on the road, like, bro, I wish I had a memory card in my head that I could pull out and, like, replay
Upload it, yeah.
Because all I got is memories, bro. I don't have, like, footage or pictures and stuff because I was
in the moment,
super in the moment of it, bro. Like, it was just like, bro, I'm just living it. At the same token, too, like, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, falling out of love with one woman and falling in love with another woman. So, like, I was, like, kind of jaded, bro. I was on some, like, you ever seen Dead Presidents? You know what I mean? When Lorenz Tate, or when Smokey was from Friday, Chris Tucker. Yeah. When Chris Tucker was like, man, you ain't seen your little girl? He was like, man, I don't think about that shit.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, you know what I mean? Like, so locked in out there trying to, like, learn and put on the best show where, bro, like, I was like tunnel vision out there, you know what I mean?
You couldn't think of anything other than what you were doing.
Killing that shit, you know what I mean? Like, watching Mac, watching Casey Veggies and shit, because it was us, Casey Veggies, then Mac. So watching, them boys do their thing and, like, you know what I mean? I came from, like, being an entertainer in Shadow Lounge, Moose Lounge, anything around Pittsburgh, you know what I mean? Or in the surrounding areas. But it's different from when you catering to 50 people to 500 or 500 to
1,000.
To 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So just like watching Mac and Casey, how people react to stuff they doing. And sometimes, people only wanted to see Mac.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Casey might be going out there, he got energy, but it's like they don't really care. They want to see Mac.
They're waiting,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just even seeing how resilient he was and that type of thing, and learn to deal with it and not let it get to you when you're up there. Because I've seen a lot of dudes like who got great music, but when the crowd ain't
feeling them,
and the energy ain't where they think it, you can see dudes' energy switching. Like now it's like, damn, like y'all don't rock with it. It's like, bro, don't even gotta get into that, bro. Just keep it, man. It's a flow, bro. Keep it moving, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Don't get frustrated. You know what I mean? You just gotta get it back.
No, for sure. And I appreciate you sharing those road moments with us and letting us know about your experiences on the road, because a lot of people don't get to experience that. And that's definitely like one of the milestones as an MC that you want is touring. You know what I mean? It's one of the things.
I'm going to say this too. Shout out to Fed the God, because he's on tour Wiz Khalifa, Sean Paul, the baby,
Yeah, yep.
them right now, and I've been looking at them pictures, and I'm like, damn, man.
Give you some nostalgia.
Oh man, give me the style. I'm like, damn. I'll be like, damn. I can't wait to get back out there on that type of time. But Fed deserve everything.
Yeah.
He's getting right now.
Yeah.
And it's dope. It's incredible to see Pittsburgh bred dude out there with another Pittsburgh bred legend.
Yeah.
Getting his shit off, man.
Yeah, no, shout out to Fed to God, the Taylor Gang.
Yeah, man.
If y'all not familiar, definitely tap in with bro. He's signed to Wiz, Taylor Gang, and he's killing it, like you said. And he does it at a high level.
Energy to the roof.
Energy to the
Through
roof.
the roof.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely deserving of everything that he's got because dude grinds.
Yeah, man.
For sure. So definitely shout out to bro, man.
Yeah.
So the 58's this band, you're doing your thing, you're going on tour. You know what I mean? You're moving and shaking with that. What kind of followed tour? What did you take away from tour, and what did you bring back home after you got back? Did it bring you a new sense of motivation leaving tour?
Yeah, definitely. Just like I said, bro, like crowd reaction, you know what I mean? Just seeing like I said, watching Casey, watching Mac, then Macadella tour, watching the Cool Kids. Shout out Mikey Rocks, Chuck English.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Every tour we was on with somebody different. So just, you know, seeing how like, cause all these dudes is from different places.
Yeah.
Other than us and Mac.
Yeah.
So, you know, we came up rocking with Mac in the Shadow Lounge, so I knew how he was getting busy.
Right.
All he needed was that bigger stage. But when you rocking with dudes from different cities and states and shit, and you know, their music, their vibe is different, you picking up off of certain stuff. So we adapted and, you know, adjusted and, you know, I would say we took certain things.
Implemented some of the stuff?
Yeah, it took a little seasoning from here, you know what I mean? Implementing stuff. So like when we do local shows now, people be like, man, that's why, you know, to go back to where we was earlier, like why people still come out and support is because, bro, it ain't just a show when we do it, bro. It's seasoned. It's customized greatly. You know what I mean? Shout out to Casey. Yeah, like it's a thing where, bro, like because of the experience, we're able to cater to them crowds different, bro. Like,
right.
And even also on the music as well, like. A lot of the stuff we did, you know, I'm proud of. I'm happy it's out there and people like, you know, resonate with it. But I learned even so much stuff. Like now it's like, it's crazy. I think about this a lot. Shout out to Sean Ski. Sean Ski sent me something that I got 8 bars for you now, but she said I could do 16. I'm like, I got 8, but I might do
What up,
another
Sean?
16.
Yeah, I know you're watching too.
Where now it's just like, yo, like with rapping, it's like rapping is super easy to me. Now it's like the challenge is like cadence.
Yeah.
What can I do
different?
Yeah, to make the music like my ad libs now and shit, like my putting somebody underneath the background of the chorus.
Right.
A different voice being under my shit, it'd be like the shit that'd be like, ooh, yeah, like excite me now. Like rapping is like, bro, easy. I've been rapping niggas' heads off since I was 14.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Since you started
like
rapping,
not to like, I mean, toot my horn.
No, talking
like,
shit, bro.
I've been rapping for so long, bro. It's like I'm a grown man now. You know what I mean? I'm not a dummy. My verbalization is cool. Like rapping be like easy, bro. And I tell people all the time, bro. Anybody can rap, bro.
Yeah.
It just take you to either be super focused, or in a zone where you got to get something off your chest, and anybody can put together a rap verse, bro.
Right.
But it's like
it's the
how
production,
you saying
the production value,
your cadence, how you delivering what you saying, bro.
Yeah.
Because you could have a verse with no metaphors, but it could be like so detailed and
heartfelt,
so passionate, so heartfelt that it'd be like, damn, that was better than the #1 Billboard chart, right? To me,
right?
Because you're passionate, and I could tell, like you made me feel.
You could feel it, yeah.
You could feel some shit. You know what I'm saying? And opposed to like somebody having a bunch of metaphors or this crazy beat with this like super playful hook, and it's like, I boomed that coming down Penn Avenue, but I don't want to hear it for the rest of the year.
Yeah, no, I don't want to hear it next year.
Yeah, like you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Yeah, I was booming down Penn Avenue and then played, and yeah, it was a little vibe, but I don't care about it.
Yeah,
That shit ain't it.
it ain't. Yeah, it ain't moving you.
But
All right, so let's get into to this Good Hands 2 project.
yes, sir.
So how did this come about? Obviously, it's you and Vinny to come up along with Germ.
Yep.
What made y'all go back into this bag again? How did we get there?
We have been just talking about it for a good couple years. Like shout out to Big Germ being very influential and like, man, you and Vinny need to like get Vinny back in, because I told you again, I didn't stop.
Right. Yeah. Of course.
You know what I mean? Not saying Vinny stopped, but things happen. He had to take his hiatus and do stuff, and he was still in and out, in and out, in and out. Germ moved to Atlanta for a year or two, so he wasn't really around as much where that happened. Unfortunately, Mac Miller passed. Mayo passed. That sat on Vinny heavily. I know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Me as well, where just like motivation goes in and out.
Talked about those highs and lows in the marathon that is music, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And just through all of that, through the years, from 2015 to last year, 2024, we just kept the prize, kept it, at hand. Like,
Yeah.
we need to jump back. We need to get back at some point. And once Vinny was fully ready, it was a session. Then another session, second session, and at that point, I think by the second session, he was like, "Yeah, I'm fully ready." And bro, we was just stinging him, stinging. We was going to the studio like literally every week for a good 3 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the project got done pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Like
I
I
mean,
remember you talking about it, and I was like, "Damn, it's already done." And
Bro.
you had it done before you even released it. You had it done for a little while.
Yeah, it was just like literally like us playing,
Finishing touches on it.
Yeah, finishing touches, playing with other stuff, getting people in. You know what I mean? Getting people. There was even sessions we'd go through and like only do 2 joints, have 3 hours, only do 2 joints, but have people come in and be like, smoking, drinking. Y'all like this or this cool?
Mm-hmm.
What you think about this? You know what I mean? Or what should we get on this? You know what I mean? And I don't know. I think we put together, as far as in good hands too, the best thing we could. At that, we still got a lot of music from those sessions that we could follow up right now, but just been getting back into the swing of things. Like recording and getting it out was one thing. Now just like visuals.
Yeah. Giving it the proper promotion.
Yeah, the shows first. Getting bro back accustomed to the stage was one thing.
Yeah.
Now getting back in front of the camera, and I realized too, like that's, in creating, like that's one thing. Like, bro, making the music is like the easy part, bro.
Yeah.
But like some people like have stage fright,
Yeah.
especially if you jump out of it for too long. Like, damn, the stage might be like a little intimidating.
Yeah.
Being in front of a camera, your movements might be, you might be like, damn, I'm a little,
Like, what am I supposed to do with myself?
yeah, I'm a little stale. I don't
Yeah.
know how to move. I ain't been in front of a camera. I ain't had to do this in a minute, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even with me, like from the cross country video we just dropped, I hadn't done a video for like 2-3 years, because I didn't do any videos off my Ghetto Luxury project.
Right.
That's another story, but the last one I did was off my 33 project, and that was in like 2021. I think I did that, or 2022. So even with that, like 2-3 years go by, and if you don't shoot a video, it's like you got to figure out how to get loose again.
Yeah, get back in the water. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
it's just a bunch of just retraining.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. Getting acquainted with just being in there, bro. Like,
So we can look forward to more videos from the project.
oh yeah. We actually got some. Well, what I was told from, I ain't even gonna put it out there, but what I was told from one of my great videographers, man, we got some real crazy shit coming up.
Okay.
We got 2 like planned for the summer. So yeah,
For sure.
Cross country is out there now, but
Make sure
2
y'all get
more.
that. So yeah, no. While we're there, tell people how to get a hold of you, if they want to follow you. Of course, the come up, how they can follow the journey for the come up. What's the best way to do all that?
You can follow the Come Up on Instagram at the Come Up Boys. Uh, I'm at Babyface Don D. You can find me on my website as well, babyfacefranchise.com. In Good Hands 2 is on all platforms right now. Cross Country is on our YouTube. Braddock on Broadway, you can go there, subscribe, share, view, and stay tuned. You know, man, it's new shit
A lot of stuff coming.
Yeah.
And before I get you up out of here, on the world's dopest podcast, Marley State of Mind podcast.
Marley State of Mind.
100th episode, man. Yeah.
Shout out.
Bunch of bull for sure. I wanted to ask you because we talked about briefly. I didn't get a chance to get back into it. You spoke about like S Money, I'm the man in that era. To say, yeah, give me your top 5 Pittsburgh songs all time.
Whoo. So, oh man, that's
like if you're meeting an artist that's not from Pittsburgh and you want to put them down with Pittsburgh music, what you playing for them?
That's crazy. Cause I almost knew you was gonna ask me this. I was when I was talking to you earlier in the week. I was thinking like, what if he asked me like, what's my top 10 Pittsburgh jam? Because I had this conversation with somebody recently, and I'm like, you know, like this is the Tuffy Tuffs of home, shout out Homewood, and even Black Caesar from my hood.
Yeah, Black
Like,
Seas.
You know what I mean? A bunch of other guys. But I didn't see them. I was younger. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I didn't digest.
You gotta speak to stuff that you know about.
So for my era and younger, I'm gonna have to say definitely Puffin' on the Perp.
Yeah.
We used to ride around.
Yeah, man. Government gang. Shout out Government gang.
Man, shout out to the GOV, man.
Yeah, man.
Like I ain't gonna lie. I said earlier. Like with the 58s, I built it like for the structure of Eastern Empire.
Yeah.
But I also took a lot of shit from the GOV.
Yeah.
Like I ain't take a lot of shit, but like I looked up to them.
Oh, for
so
sure.
shout out to Hard Times. Shout out to S Money. Shout out to Lee Lansky.
Yeah.
Shout out to Boaz. Shout
Yes,
out
sir.
to Young Nizzy.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to all of the GOV, the Larmer guys. Yeah. Because, man, they had that shit on lock. So I'm going to definitely say, man, we used to ride around puffing that perp, puffing that sour, that real sour.
With the Giuliano beat, too, right?
Man, yeah. Giuliano is incredible. Shout out to Johnny Giuliano, my man.
Sure.
But I'm going to say puffing on the perp.
Okay.
I'm jigging. Shout out to the Duke boys, Shiggy and Grimes. I'm jigging. Shout out to S Moolah, S Money again for I'm the Man.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's a slapper.
And had the whole city going crazy. You heard that everywhere.
We heard it everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think now.
Got 3 of them?
Got three. I'm trying to think of another one. La Family Gang, welcome to La Familleville.
Yeah.
I shout rest in peace to Trill Wop, my brother.
For sure, man. Trillsy.
Damn. And then one more. Shout out to Measy, why you mad? Measy, why you mad? So that's my 5.
I like that. I like that 5.
And there's others I could have named, but if I'm coming off the dome, that's 5. That's 5. Yeah.
No, I like those 5, bro. I'm gonna give my 5 too, just because. For me, Puffin' on the Perps definitely on there. Yeah. I love the.
I might play that leaving here.
Yeah, say that right.
While I ride through Walmart.
Right, going hard. Of course, Wapo Elm Street is on there for me.
See, I forgot about that.
Because I feel like that joint, like when that came out, you heard it everywhere. And Wham don't even be jacking local music like that, but they had that Elm Street on all the time.
Yeah.
I'm with you on the S Money. I'm the man for sure. That's one of them for me. Bath Salts 4 to be precise.
I was gonna say that too.
Teflon, man. Bath Salts 4 for me. What's that 4?
That's 4. One more.
Oh, Dab Lord, man. Asco, 100K,
Dab
man.
Lord. Shout out to 100K.
That's another one that, you know what I mean, Rama don't be playing local music like that, but that Dab Lord, they was bumping that. They was playing that Dab Lord.
Dab Lord ran it up.
For
He
sure.
ran it up with that Dab Lord.
So shout
man.
out to 100K for that, man. And that's my five, bro. I think about it constantly. Of course, like you said, there's other ones that I know people want to hear steaming about. They we ain't name them. You know what I mean, much love and respect to everybody, but just for me,
Yeah.
I feel like those joints, like you could play those in a club at any point in time, anywhere in Pittsburgh, and you're gonna get a reaction.
Yeah, it's gonna be reciprocated.
Yeah, for
definitely.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure, man. No, but I appreciate you joining me on the world's dopest podcast, the Marley State of Mind podcast, down here at Refresh, man. Make sure y'all come and get y'all gear. I know y'all see it over here, looking quite lovely, man. Make sure y'all come down to Refresh and get yourselves right, and they got the kicks for you, man. Shout out to everybody that makes this possible, man. Shout out to everybody who tuned in, and you know we'll see you next time. We'll have another special guest with us for episode 101, but this is episode 100. We're closing it down.
100.
Peace.